Here is the video that I made connecting capoeira with yoga, mindfulness, and breath work. I'm making this narration to accompany the visuals on this video. These are different sequences of yoga, and I'm going to connect them with the art of capoeira, which is an ancient Afro-Caribbean martial art form. I'm also going to be combining breath and mindfulness, which are also components of yoga, and they're also part of a lot of different ancient disciplines from around the world. So my hope with this video is to give a connection between the positive benefits of studying martial arts and the sustainable aspects that come with doing yoga and movement and breathing exercises and mindfulness for regeneration. What I'm doing here is some standard flowing between yoga postures, and in this portion I'm going to begin moving in a way that moves into the capoeira warm-ups with my body. So here I'm going to start focusing on moving between strength, balance, and movement, and at the same time I'm going to be tying it in with my breath and controlling my breath as the sequences move between one another. So what I'm doing here is some standard capoeira warm-ups and training drills that I learned from my master in Brazil, CLAUDIONOR. And we're going to be tying those in with things like handstands. And then here I'm going to get into the Jenga, which is the basic move between fighting stances. We have regular southpaw and then essentially horse stance. I'm flowing between these. I'm going to start adding in kicks. Now this is going to be different kinds of front foot kick, martello, and now this is a heel kick, meia lua de capasso, chapas. We've got, again, reviews back and forth, always balancing the different sides, flowing between. So here I'm going to start practicing going a little lower. I've got some sweeps called rasteiras. It's like a front sweep. Now here's a heel sweep from the back. And then always flowing between with that Jenga movement. Now here is some information about the yoga I studied at Holy Cow. This is the SATCHADANANDA tradition. I did a immersion there in 2010 called Living Yoga Training at the ashram in Buckingham, Virginia, and then I went back a few years ago and got officially certified. And this is probably what brought it all together, is the meditation. I did an immersion called Vipassana that's held at centers all around the world. It's a 10-day program to learn a specific type of meditation and mindfulness, and I practice that every day, and it's very powerful. It took a long time to get used to and enjoy, and now I'm hooked. So connecting it, that's my capoeira certificate I earned in Brazil, and here is the background of capoeira, which is really the catalyst for all of this. This video is about 2015 when my teacher moved back to Brazil. I had been studying with him in Richmond, so I followed him down to meet the master himself. This is the Grandmaster CLAUDIONOR, and this is meeting up with him the first or second time I was in Brazil. So I pulled together a lot of this different footage over the years, and I wanted to give a background of the master because I think that so much of the way that I learn is through stories, and that's what keeps my interest in the things that I love to do and I'm attracted to. So by seeking out the master, I found that the story was so much deeper about capoeira than I had realized because there were faces to it. So here is the master's masters. There's Doraldo and Zagrangi, and that's Silkfoot, Mestre Mario Santos. Here's the master practicing with one of the young students, and here is this is a picture of the master long ago, and he became the champion of Rio de Janeiro's full contact capoeira fighting circuit in the 1970s, probably. So everybody knows the master, and everybody I've met that knows him loves him because he's a character, just like right there, singing. This is called City of God, an area in Brazil. This is Bom Sucesso, one of our training centers here, right around where this area is, a favela in Brazil. where we all play. Right here is a view inside this one facility that we train at in Bonsucesu, that people have been training at for decades. And when I go down, this is one of the places we meet that we train to practice on the punching bag. So the master is rare in that capoeira groups don't necessarily emphasize training on the bag as much as the physical motions. But and here is the background all the way to enslaved peoples from Brazil training and practicing the art. Enslaved people from Africa in Brazil training the art form. And here again, this is the master showing so well his unique variation of the Jenga, which is switching between styles of traditional or southpaw or horse stance of fighting. So here I am running some moves over one of the times I was in Brazil with the master, some sequences. He's quick to show me when I'm not having my guard up. And then in between the sequence, you'll see a little Jenga. And here is me earning my belt the second time I was in Brazil in my batizado or baptism ceremony that a group has. I had a special little one because I was there in an off season. There's my brother Marcus Paulo showing me where I'm not keeping my guard up. And now here is another guy that is quite formidable, about to give me a little exercise and paying attention. So this is the time that we get to try out our movements on our belt ceremony. So I almost take out the master there from that kick, but I did earn my belt, and that's one of the highlights of my life. There's Hubin there giving it to me, and the master. And here is all the belts that were created, and those are made by the highest master under our master, Claudionor, who is Aranya. We'll talk about him. Here's the master when he was the grand champion, and here is Aranya, the highest master under Claudionor. He came and visited in Charleston to visit some of the groups that I was working with of young people that I've been passing the art on to. Here is us demonstrating at our belt ceremony. So these children were earning their belts, so we flew him up from Brazil until Claudionor, the Grandmaster, can come up. And one of the students is Francis, who is one of my students and teachers. He came as a child from a village in Ghana. Here he is playing drums in West Africa. And he came to our school in Charleston for a year, and I trained him in capoeira in our style. Here he is with others. And I went back to his village in West Africa as a guest. And when we got there, we started training and continuing our training. So now I've been to the village many times, and each time we keep building the group, and Francis keeps it going. We do the music and the movements, and here we are training and practicing, and some of the young people are also musicians. So we keep it all going and pass it on, have little clinics when I'm in town, and I hope they keep doing it. But others like Joe here, one of the leaders of the dance company, keeps it going, and we keep training the art. And eventually we got an opportunity to bring the group to a huge music festival and perform capoeira for all the group at the festival, and that's one of my happiest memories, seeing the kids carry on what was shown to me going all the way back to Africa. So as you can see, it's completely natural to them, so perhaps we're just remembering the language and reminding each other. So very honored to share this part of it, and wanted to pull it all together with the emphasis that this art form is so amazing, and that it is a martial art form that's emphasis is on sustainability and connection and coordination and flow. It's a very, very unique art form physically, as we see, and I encourage everyone to learn about the history behind the art form and the necessity of it being how it appears. Just a very interesting dance and community-based, very unique art form. So here is finishing up with just a little clinic that I did as part of a series of visits to Egypt, where I have some friends that are in Montessori education, and I was invited a lot of different places, and I went to a school for refugees, and this is here with some refugees from war-torn countries in North Africa and the Mideast. And so I'm put this in to show how fun and accessible the art form can be with groups, and I'll show him a couple little sneaky tricks as well, something like that to make everyone laugh. So that's what this is, and I really enjoy learning about the continued connections between these cultural arts, and just doing my part to keep it going and honoring the traditions of those that I learned it from, and then also amalgamating it with other things and my own interests in my mind. So that's why I made this video, and I'm going to continue building these sequences in a more organized way, and this is just the beginning of the story. There's so much more. All right, thanks for watching.